Jeannie Coulter, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks, Mike.
Well, that's great. The Airport series was huge, as with many disaster films in the 70s. And this is kind of the peak franchise for disaster in Airport 77. Now, I like to do what I'm doing here because it reminds me of being a kid. And I remember I have kind of a semi-photographic memory, especially when it comes to movies. I can remember going to the movies. And I remember, I think it's the third movie that I saw. I saw Jaws, King Kong, and then Airport 77. And I remember being a 3-year-old kid in this huge theater at a mall and looking around, and it just seemed like it was just a sea of people. And I remember getting so enthralled in that movie, even as a 3-year-old. And it was a double bill. They we'll talk about Burt Reynolds in a moment, but they had a sneak preview of Smokey and the Bandit after that too. And I just totally remember that night. To this day, I still remember that. So Airport 77 fascinates me. Can you tell me how that came about and just what it was like going to the set every day? And you had a league of stars in that as well.
So yes, and you know, that was a big show for a lot of reasons. Number one, they didn't have women coordinating, so Universal gave me the job of co-coordinating with Stan Barrett, who was a coordinator who ran the land speed record. So I worked with him, but they really didn't let me do that much. I was kind of like in training. So I hired the people, got the doubles, hired them for the job, but setting up the stunts, I did to some extent, but really he had it all planned out. You know, I really didn't get to do much on that except what I did inside the plane. So that was a big changing point, and we thought it would be great for women because we thought it would open the doors and there'd be more stunt coordinating for women, which really didn't happen, although I did get to coordinate a lot of shows. But it really didn't open up for women at that time, which was kind of depressing. But on that show, yes, it was a big show. I worked with Dar Robinson on that, a lot of stunt people in that, but a lot of big stars in that also. So it was a hard show because they had all this water coming down on us. And I worked with one of the actors was a blind gentleman, Tom Sullivan, I believe his name was. What a wonderful man he was. And it was such a great experience to me because he said to me one day, he said, you know, I don't know what a smile looks like. And I never thought of that. And I said, okay, I said, put your hands on my face and feel my lips, how they go when I smile. And it was so cute to be able to speak with somebody that didn't know that because I never thought of it. You know, we don't think of it if you're not blind. But that was interesting to me. And he was a great little actor, and that was fun. And working with the big stars, you know, Olivia de Havilland, what an excellent person to work with because she was so elegant and so great and such a pro. So I was lucky in a lot of reasons. There's a big star show, and I got to talk to all of them and work with them. And we had a hard job in that, you know, that plane with all the water coming in on us. So it was a hard job.
So I guess you play that Beauty's in the Eye of the Beholder song all the time? Remember that? Do you remember that song?
No.
The Tom Sullivan, he got like one of the biggest credits, like on the end credits. He gets a full screen Beauty in the Eye of the Beholder, sung by Tom Sullivan. And it was at the end of the movie. And and I remember that scene. Well, obviously I remember I watched it last night. But there you are. You're hanging out in the lobby or in the bar, I guess the lounge.
Right.
You're leaning on the piano. You look gorgeous, by the way. and you've got this blue dress.
Sweet.
You got this. You were smart. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but you picked this bright blue dress with pink roses on it, and everybody else is wearing their 70s, beige and brown and green, and you're popping off the screen. I don't know if you've seen it since it's been remastered, but you pop off every screen.
No,
so,
I haven't.
You're in that movie a good. I mean, you're there till the end. I was watching
that's funny.
I was watching it last night, rooting for you, hoping you didn't get deep six.
But
there you are at the very end. And
that's funny. Wardrobe picks out those clothes. We don't get to choose.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
They made you a good choice for you. But,
thank you.
But you're in there in the mix with all of them.
Wow.
Can you tell me about? I love Jack Lemmon. Can you tell me anything about Jack Lemmon?
Oh my goodness, Jack Lemmon. We after shooting, we all meet at the bar. I didn't, but I remember Dar drank, and he drank with Jack. We all sat at the bar, and they were having a drink, and I had a Coke, and we were all just laughing so hard because they were very funny. Jack Lemmon was very funny, and so was Dar. And when they had a couple of drinks, they were even funnier. So it was great fun. We just did crazy things and spent most of the night there laughing. And then we'd have to get up at 5 a.m, go to work, which we did, of course. And I don't know. Jack Lemmon was so funny. He was just such a great guy to be around. Just made you laugh all the time, Great actor, too. So, yeah, that was a great experience, being able to go out with him and stuff.
It's amazing how versatile Jack Lemmon was, because, you've got movies like, some of my favorites were, like, The Prisoner on 2nd Avenue.
Yes.
Of course, The Odd Couple. Save the Tiger. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I think he was nominated for an Oscar or won an Oscar for that. And 1974 is Save the Tiger. It's a beautiful movie. Unbelievable performance. And then in Airport 77, he's kind of doing this heroic thing, which, I think what I've read is that he was kind of embarrassed because he was in such a role. But hopefully he was happy in the end. What about, I have a lot of subscribers that love the James Bond films. And, of course, in Airport 77, there's a James Bond villain. But in this, he's a hero, Christopher Lee. What was Christopher Lee like?
Oh, he's so not like what he looks like. He's so sweet. And, yes, he just looks like he might be a villain, And he's he is so gentle. He's nothing like his acting is. He's just so gentle and sweet and kind and very mellow and very laid back and just a nice man. No, he didn't look like the way he acted. He just was just a kind man. Yeah, he played those villain parts all the time, and he was so sweet. It was, after I got to know him, it was quite interesting. He did such a great job acting,
Sure.
But also, Jimmy Stewart was in that too, I got to work with him.
I was going to ask, because at the end, I think you land on a helipad on a ship, and I think he's there waiting for you.
Yeah.
But yes, go ahead. What can you tell us about Jimmy Stewart?
Well, Jimmy Stewart. You're in awe when you listen to him talk. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He just has that great accent, and he was very nice to everybody. And we spent a lot of time on a big ship out in the ocean there, out of San Diego, and we all got to sit in our chairs and all sit and talk to each other. So it was great fun. He was rather quiet man, and always calling his family, and just a really sweet man. Loved being around him because of his accent, so it was fun. And George Kennedy was there too, which was another fun man, really nice man. Great actors, we were so lucky.
There looked to be a lot of work that was done in a tank, maybe. Can you tell me how those sequences were filmed, where like the compartments flooding and just where the danger's happening?
We just had a big set with the inside of the plane, and they had like thousands of gallons of water up ahead on top of the rafters, where they'd open them up and let all the water come out, and it would push all the furniture and everything at us. So it was kind of dangerous, We had to dodge. Well, the piano was in there, and, there were a lot of pieces of big furniture that were moved around when they let that water loose. So, yeah, it was a little bit dangerous. So we had people doubling the actors, of course. But I doubled Lee Grant, who is killed when the water takes her out, going out the plane. And I think all I did was hold my hand up so you could see my hand as she's going out the plane. But Lee
Remick, she was something else in that movie. Boy, a lot of fun. Her character, she was a troublemaker. But yes, Airport 77. I always thought it was just a great concept for a disaster film. I guess a pressurized cabin could hold all that. And, it's just good escapism. Disaster movie fun. So anybody out there listening, you should seriously watch it.
And you wonder if you can make it when a plane goes down underwater, because the cabins are pressurized. So who knows?
That was a state of the art. That was a state of the art plane, but sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have all that. I never second guessed it. I just think it's a great thriller. So fun stuff.
Boy, when that water comes down on you, it's massive. It's water's so darn heavy, and it just throws everything at you. So it was quite an interesting day, or should I say week.
Something that made that movie even more frightening, and I don't know if maybe even Universal or the producers were thinking about this, but when you were watching Airport 77, you were aware of sharks, and you were aware of Jaws. And so, people are looking out the windows. I remember as a kid, I was just waiting for Jaws to come, smack against the plane or something.
Right.
So, of course, I'm going to ask you till I'm blue in the face about Jaws 2. I've probably watched you.